वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते 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 वासुदेवाय। सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Good morning, guten Morgen. All of you had your breakfast? బాగున్నారు అందరూ? I think yesterday I was not there. Last prayer meeting I was telling about the Alexander's encounter with Dandamis, right? So Alexander was returning back to Athens with his army. So along with this, that Kalinos, the yogi, was going back. So on his way back in Persia, present Iran, so this yogi Kalinos, who was accompanying the Greek army, understood that Alexander is not going to reach Athens because after all he was a yogi. So yogis are the people actually who can discover, we can know the future also, Past they would know and also the future of an individual at will. So he understood that anyway Alexander is not going to Athens, he will not reach Athens, he is going to die on the way. So He lighted a fire and he told Greek army and Alexander that I want to give up body. They did not understand what he meant by that. Oh, I want to give up body. So, okay, they didn't understand. So he lighted the fire and just walked into the fire. Before he did that, he embraced all the army generals with whom actually he had acquainted himself well. He had, he had built up some, because they were traveling from here to Indian border to Persia. So all of them he gave a final hug. But Alexander did not give a hug. And to Alexander he told, I will meet you in Babylon. Alexander was puzzled. He did not understand what he meant by that. He did not even understand what he meant when he said that I want to give up body. So he walked into the fire and just sat there and the body got burnt. So he did not, in protest, he did not make any kind of noise, but he was just giving up the body, he dropped the body. So Alexander, from Persia, he went to Babylon. Then he had contracted the fever, a bad fever. 11 days he ran high fever and then he passed away. So when this yogi said that I am going to meet you in Babylon, I will be with you in life and also in death. You will not go beyond Babylon, you are going to die in Babylon. But he did not tell Alexander that much. So why Alexander wanted to return back to Athens so fast? Because he wanted to go and fall at the feet of his guru Aristotle. All these days he had been thinking that the real conquest of the world means conquering the world geographically and physically, making it something big in the external world, by becoming a billionaire or by wielding a position of power. But now, he did not understand before when Aristotle was teaching him the real philosophical stuff. So when he encountered this Dandamis, where he had no, fear of even death, and conquered, then he understood for the first time his master's words, there is a greater conquest, conquering one's own self, conquering the mind. Once you conquer the mind, you are consciousness, you are the infinite, you are the Atman, you are the self. That is the real conquest, that is the real achievement for a human being. He understood, but then it was too late for him in that birth. He died at the young age of 32, from 19 to 32, for 13 years of career. What was an intense life? So why I am telling you all this? To know Indian civilization, what we have been doing for millennia and centuries. Of course, post-independence, we forgot all this, because nothing is taught to us, the great philosophical wisdom that our forefathers have given us a kind of inheritance. Niels Bohr, and Albert Einstein, they had very interesting conversation at that point of time, because after this Werner Heisenberg, his atomic theory, where he said that you can't determine the velocity and position of the electron. If you determine its position, you cannot determine its velocity. If you can determine its velocity, you can't determine its position. And atomic particles are behaving in such a way. When you observe, they behave like particles. When you don't observe, they behave like waves. This puzzled them. That's why Werner Heisenberg's uncertainty principle in physics, that confirmed, and the universe appeared to be a kind of paradox to them. Is it real? If it is real, how these paradoxes can coexist? They were wondering and wondering. If you just look at the Upanishads, the way they describe the truth. Tad ejati ta na ejati, tad dure tad vantike. When you are describing God, the ultimate truth, this is the language they used. It moves not. It's very far, it's very near. No, it's a contradiction, right? You cannot describe something as very far and very near at the same time. It moves and it moves not. It should be only one thing. If it moves, it should not move. So why the poets and mystics and sages express the universe in such paradoxical terms, then they got it. And then Niels Bohr and Albert Einstein had a very interesting argument. Albert Einstein said that there is systematicity in this universe, because Earth is actually circumambulating the sun, actually the moon actually is revolving around the Earth. All these are going on very systematically. There is a perfect order in this universe. That was the argument of Albert Einstein. But Niels Bohr said, there is a semblance of order. Apparently there is order. It is only an apparent order, but it's not real order. It's all chaos. That's what Niels Bohr's argument was. Okay? This is entropy. This is disorder. This is chaos. This is Maya. That's what Niels Bohr came to almost Upanishadic sages. But Albert Einstein said God is not playing dice with nature. There is a perfect order in this universe. I disagree with you, Niels Bohr said to Albert Einstein, because Niels Bohr studied the Upanishads. So towards the fag end of life, even Albert Einstein also came to the same conclusion, and Max Planck, the German physicist also. All these great physicists, in 2022 Physics Nobel Prize went to the physicists. They said that world is not real. What our sages have been telling for 5 millennia, The 2022 Nobel laureates physics, you can just actually Google, and there is a beautiful video also. What their conclusions, what they're finding. They said the world is unreal. It exists only in relation to your mind. That's what our sages have been saying all through the days. They actually came to the conclusion, because if it is real, it should exist all the 24 hours. Because when you go to sleep, your mind disappears in deep sleep. When the mind is not there, universe is not there. So the universe exists only in relation to the mind. And then they had this profound question: what is mind? Who am I? What is the mind? Who am I? Even Albert Einstein said that time and space, theory of relativity, are dependent on the observer. And who is the observer? I am the observer. Who am I? I don't know. Am I the body? No. Am I the mind? No. If you are the body, you won't say my body. If you are the mind, you won't say my mind. You have the body and you have the mind, as Upadhyay said, Ajings. You are something different from these two. Then who am I really? So you have to investigate. That's called self-inquiry. Go deep into yourself, and then you will find that there is only one existence. This body and mind are only superimposed on your real nature, that is called Atman. So our sages actually began their quest from this point: who am I? Exactly, Albert Einstein came to that point. Time and space, they don't really exist. They are dependent on the observer. Where Albert Einstein stopped, there our sages began their quest, and they found out the truth. That's why India, everybody else in the world considers a spiritual land, a land of seekers, a land of mystics, a land of yogis, a land where people have found the ultimate truth by experience, not theoretically, not intellectually. But I want to tell you, as a generation, for the last 2-3 generations, we have not been given this spiritual wisdom in this country, and we still consider ourselves, as a kind of second-rate country. We don't understand, we don't really know the value of the spiritual wisdom that this culture has generated. Of course, little awakening is coming now. There are a lot of debates and discussions are going on. And Indic studies, there's a lot of people actually voicing that Indic studies, what we have got from our forefathers, that must be made part of the curriculum and must be taught to students and children. It's not just psychology, it's transcends in psychology. It's the ultimate philosophy, ultimate mystery about our own being, about our connection with the divine, about the creator. In that way, you're all very fortunate to have been born in this great country, India. So more about this philosophy, I will touch in my next prayer meeting. Thank you. Have a nice day.